Previously on First Paso.
I did a lot of self-destructive things, and I hurt a lot of people
Yeah.
out of selfishness.
Mm.
I was in relationships with some women that deserved better than what I gave them, and I would go back and end those earlier because I was just simply not capable of giving them what they needed.
You're listening to First Paso. Because sometimes you simply need someone to help you take that first paso. Hello and welcome to First Paso, a show where we learn together how to take that first paso toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. My name is Candace Olusola, and today we are continuing the conversation right where we left off with Pastor Cesar Gonzalez, asking him a very pertinent question. And what would your advice be for guys, like specifically in how they, I don't know, prepare themselves for doing relationship right?
Yeah, I have two pieces of advice specifically for guys. Number one is stop the porn.
Ooh.
And you
Ooh.
you don't understand how porn is ruining your relationships.
Wow.
Because what porn does is that it makes a woman into an object, and you're never going to be happy. If you're looking for true happiness, porn is one of the things that will always keep you from it, sadly. And we can have a whole another discussion about how to get away from that.
Yeah.
We can have a whole. It's a huge topic.
It's
okay,
and it's a problem for both men and women. Like, ladies,
yeah.
we're not left out of that conversation. We're just as addicted. They don't talk about it. It's always on the guy side, and then for girls, it's like, oh, it's an industry for us. No, like everyone is deeply affected by pornography. I don't care how you spin it.
Absolutely, but I don't think that people understand how porn will rot your soul. Like, it will turn you into something that cannot feel.
Wow.
It really will do that. And then the other thing that I would like to say to men is just try not to be jerks. My goodness.
It's good advice.
Men have lost, and I have to say, I have to put some of the blame on women, Candace.
Go ahead.
Women used to expect a certain level of chivalry, at least, or something. Competency. That's right. The word I'm looking for.
Yes.
A certain level of competency from men. But in their effort to receive love, I'm talking about women.
Yeah.
In their effort to receive love, they have lowered that need or desire or whatever for competency, and are willing to accept anything. And men have said, well, if I don't have to do the work, I don't have to do the work.
Oh my goodness. Keep going.
But going back to men, in order to be happy, you have to know how to be a man. In order to be fulfilled and to fulfill someone else in your relationships, in order to be happy, you have to be capable. You have to be a real man. And the first thing that a real man, an adult even, not just a man, is able to do is control themselves, control their urges, control everything, and do the right thing. If you cannot control yourself, you're a child. That's what you are. You're a child. Wow. And let me, the example that I like to give people is, hey, listen, this really fun, happy, good-looking guy, every time you guys go out, you have a great time. It's fantastic. He knows how to play guitar, and he sings, and he tells funny jokes, and he makes everybody feel great. Sometime during the evening, he will crap his pants because he has no control over himself. He will do that. So this happy-go-lucky, fantastic guy that makes everybody feels good somehow craps their pants every time that you go out because he can't control himself. Well, are you going to keep doing that? When a man can't control his urges, he's doing the same thing in everybody else's life.
And the world tells him it's okay. You're supposed to.
Not okay. That's the issue. And so when you end up with someone like this, it starts small, but eventually they're going to crap all over your life. If they can't control themselves and they can't, be a man, that's what's going to happen.
Wow. I'm so glad you said that. I was having a conversation with a friend a few days ago, and just hearing what you're saying and thinking back on that conversation and thinking of all of the Steve Harvey episodes I've seen of him going, ladies, like, just, old school always works. Like, he always says that old school always works. Like, if you guys set the bar, guys have to go based off of the bar you set, and they're always going to do that. If they realize that they can move the bar somewhere, they're going to move it in their favor. And then you can't get mad because you were the one who were setting the tone in the first place. He's like, that's all guys do. He's like, guys are hunters. We look to see how the deer moves, and we plot based off of the movements of the deer. That's literally all we do. And like, I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about, just keeping yourself pure, keeping yourself always growing and learning in your mind and controlling your urges and what that looks like. And the idea that because society, like, women have lowered this standard as a society of women, we've lowered this standard, and now this is where the new standard is. So then when you are that person who's like, no, I'm staying up here, they call you crazy now. Like, now you're the crazy one. So like me, I've told people, look, I am a virgin, okay? That does not mean sexual type of experiences haven't happened in my life, but I am a virgin, okay? And to tell someone that, to be like, no, like, I'm not having sex with you, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, they're like, well, I hope you enjoy being single for the rest of your life. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. If your bar is over there, if that's where you have your bar, good for you. My bar's way over here. I don't know what to tell you.
The amazing thing about you and your experience is that you have the most incredible, example of what God will do in your own family. Because I'm living the other side of what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, or I live, I should say.
Yeah.
As a young man, I live the other side.
Right.
And the whole deer thing, men have figured a lot of women out, and they would, amongst my friends, we would look at a group of women and we would say, okay, which tactic is going to work with which one?
Yes.
That, we would have those conversations. And the easiest one, Candace, the easiest one were the pretty ones, the really, really good looking ones, because all we had to do was make them feel insecure. That's all we had to do.
Wow.
for the really beautiful ones to go for it.
That's interesting. I would have thought it would have been women who are already insecure.
Really attractive women,
who are already insecure.
Really attractive people, okay, because men are the same way. Really attractive people, their egos are delicately balanced on the finger of the most attractive person around them.
Oh.
And if that person isn't constantly saying, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful, you're this and that and the other.
Yeah.
Whether man or woman, okay?
Yeah.
Then they start to doubt themselves. And then they start to yearn for that attention that they're so accustomed to having.
Yeah.
And so when I would see a really, really attractive woman, all I had to do was spend time, if I could. This was the magic, and whole
playbook.
The magic was here. This was it, okay? This was the thing that always worked. I needed to spend as much time as I could around them and then ignore them. and they would start to chase me.
Yes. Oh, shoot.
Because they were so accustomed to being just lauded with love and affection, and you're so beautiful, you're so this and that. That was the normal for them, right?
Yeah.
And when somebody came around and said, you're not that hot, get over yourself, then they tried to prove to this person that they actually were.
Wow.
And this worked. This worked most of the time until I met this one girl whose name was Jessica, who was absolutely gorgeous, and she had to spend time with me because I was her tutor. Okay, I worked at the writing center, and she needed help with some assignments.
Yeah.
And she spent an entire semester with me twice a week. And I'm like, this is a done deal. Like, this is going to be easy. Okay?
Yeah.
The problem was that every time that I tried to have a conversation with her to bring her down, she would talk to me about Jesus.
Oh, she's me. Oh, did you hear that? Oh, that's totally me.
You would talk to me. And I tried everything. Everything I could think of. And she would always work Jesus into the conversation. And I'm like, what? And then one day she's like, hey, I'm having a Bible study in my house. I'm like, this is it, okay? This is it. Because now, hey, I'm an Adventist. I know the Bible backwards and forwards. I'm gonna drop some knowledge on y'all, right? And so I show up to her house, and I had flowers and a guitar. I play guitar. And a few hymns. I had
Bible
flowers
study
for her.
Okay.
Right. I didn't have flowers for her. I had flowers for her mother.
Oh,
okay?
he upgraded. Oh, you.
Because I got game. That's right. That's
y'all
right.
Heard that?
Y'all
heard the man? Did you hear it?
All right. So I show up. I show up early. I give the flowers to her mother. Her mother melts, of course. I pull out the guitar. I help set up the chairs and everything, and then people start coming in. And I'm looking around to see who my competition is. I'm looking around to see who the guys are, right? Because I'm figuring the guy that I'm competing with has to be here. And today it's like man to man. We're gonna figure this out today, right?
I'm learning so much about guys right now. That this would happen in Bible study too. I'm so.
Oh, darling, you don't know. So I'm sitting there. And I got my guitar and ready to sing my songs or whatever, and I see the people filing in, and there is no competition in the room. I said it, okay? There is no competition in the room. And I'm like, this is going to be so easy. I'm going to drop some Bible knowledge on them, and I'm going to show them, the Sabbath, vegetarianism, all this nonsense, right? Well, not the Sabbath, but all this other stuff, right? Because I'm an Adventist, and we are the Green Berets of Christianity, out, right? And we go and we sing the songs, and everything is going great until she says, "All right, what we're going to do next is we're going to go around the room and say what God has accomplished in your life this week." And I had absolutely nothing to say, nothing to say, and that's Jessica. That night with Jessica was the first time that I really realized that some other people had something that I didn't have as far as Christianity, that I was missing something.
Yeah.
Despite growing up in the church and, being super involved and pathfinding and all that stuff. Yeah. That was the first time. And it took this woman to show me very clearly by one simple question, what has God done in your life? And everybody else had a story, something beautiful to say. And I didn't have anything to say. I just sat there in silence.
Wow.
I never got to thank Jessica for that. I mean, I gave up after that, obviously, because I knew that, she was looking for something that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And that's you. That's that's Candace. That's exactly it. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to Jessica, but I'm glad she didn't end up with me. I would have ruined her life.
Man.
That's what I was about.
Jessica, if you're out there, thank you. Because that question has made Caesar who he is today. Like, that changed your life, and I can tell. I hope she gets to hear this because, man, I relate to Jessica so much.
And you should. You should.
I've done this before.
You should. Jessica, well, I don't know what happened. I hope to see Jessica in heaven and to, profusely thank her for what she did for me. Turning me down was the best thing that she ever did.
Man. And you know what? It's so funny because you feel bad in those moments. Let me talk from Jessica's standpoint on this one, because I have been in situations where, you know me, I can make friends with tree bark if I could. I could literally
you're wonderful.
Talk to anybody, right? And I talk to people and I just want to know who they are. They can pour themselves out open to me, and I listen. I just want to know. I want to be for people who God's always been for me. And it's because of who he's been in my life and how he has taken the time to sit with me in my dark times and walked me through a lot of stuff. And we're still working. Me and Jesus, we're not done. But because of that, how it's affected me, I always want to give people that respect as well. And so there have been times where my attentiveness and my willingness to just be there has been confused as I'm interested. And it's not that. I'm interested in you as a person. I'm not trying to be romantic with you. And it really, for some people, it's just been like, man, you're so easy to talk to. Other girls, make fun of me or they judge me, but you look past all of that. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what God did for me. And it's the best feeling in the world. So of course I want to pay that forward. It's amazing. But then sometimes I gotta fight because then they want to they want to hit on me, or they want to, and I'm like, whoa, hey, wait, let's pray. And they're like, what? It's the first thing that pops in my head because I don't know what to do. And then once I've I realize that they're embarrassed by, if they wanted to hit on me or they asked me to be their girlfriend or whatever, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't know that's what was happening. I just no, and I have to explain that it's not them. It's really just I like being friends with them. I'm not thinking of them in that way, and I don't hate them. They don't have to run away in shame because of it. It's just there was mixed signal somewhere, and I just need to apologize for that. And then I come back later and I'm just like, hey, what's up? And they're like, wait, you came back? You're my friend? And I'm like, yes. Can
I give you some advice there?
Yeah.
First of all, good on you. And I know this about you because you and I really truly are friends.
Yes.
And I'm a 47-year-old, pastor with a wife and kids, and you really are one of my friends, and I appreciate that. So what you're saying about yourself is completely, absolutely true. All right? But you have to watch out for the scammers out there. And sometimes you know, and sometimes you don't know who the scammers are.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it might be beneficial for you to say up when you start going into some personal stuff, in an effort to try to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Okay.
It might be good for you to say, listen, I'm happy to have this personal conversation with you. I'm enjoying it, and I'm happy to have as a friend. I'm happy to have this conversation for you. Yeah. But you need to know that I am not looking for a relationship out of this.
Is that weird to say that up front? Because I don't want to assume, because not all guys have done that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to also say oh, I'm not looking for anything, and then be like, I wasn't trying to look for anything. And I'd be like, oh, that was awkward.
That's why you have to do it super early. Not when things start getting feely. You have to tell people what it is that you're looking for early on, so everything's clear. If you wait till people have already started to share, then you've either lured them in and they feel bad about that, and then they have some sort of well, I wasn't looking for it, whatever. Or you do it in a friendly way.
So I should just emphasize as your friend.
Yeah.
Being a friend.
we're friends and we can have this conversation. And I hope that you have this conversation with other friends of yours. You should look for other positive people to have this conversation with.
Yes.
Share this with someone else.
Yes.
And perhaps say, you know, my pastor or this person would also like to have this conversation, you know?
Yes.
In order to make sure that they understand that this is not an exclusive thing with you.
Right.
And that you can smell a turkey a mile away because, you know.
That's great.
You should. You can. Candace. And Candace is, folks, for those of you that are listening, and I always remember at your brother's wedding, you're like, hey, put me on the ground, people, you know? Candace is one of the most wonderful people that I know. Male or female, she's just delightful. And the guy that God has for this woman, I'm talking to you, Candace, the guy that God has for you is going to be equally amazing. But, you know, he's not done baking yet. He's still in the oven there somehow. And
he's ready. He's in quarantine, too, so it's not like he's allowed to go anywhere.
He's in quarantine.
I don't know where he is, but I know he's in quarantine, so.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Maybe he gets to hear my podcast when they come out and give him something to do.
When that finally happens, it's going to be amazing. And I plan to be there. That day when that happens.
I'll call you and be like, it's so beautiful.
I plan to be at that wedding for sure.
Yes. Ugh. Man. Ugh. Yeah, it's so funny because I'm still learning about relationships and stuff, and I guess it's because I'm very protective of my heart, which some people laugh at.
Yeah.
But it's like people have overstepped their boundaries with me in ways that have been destructive, and because of that, I'm like, when people in an unwanted fashion do things to really hurt you, and it's really just for their pleasure, it has nothing to do with you, you have walls up. But then at the same time, I'm also a child of God. Like, my listeners know I love Jesus. You're going to hear me talk about Jesus all the time. It's just part of who I am. But because of my relationship with God, when he finally showed me my value and my worth, despite the unwanted advances and whatnot that have happened to me, it finally clicked that it's not just me protecting myself just in case someone else is here to hurt me, but it's because I actually have value that some people tried to rob from me and God restored back into me. And so how I see it is now not from the context of please don't keep taking part of who I am without asking me, but more so, I'm so precious that I want to stay as precious as possible for the person I'm supposed to be precious for. And that's it. Like
that is, you know, if women, men and women, if people could understand that, and the redemptive power of God to be able to give that back to you.
Yes.
You know, because what people are actually doing when a man oversteps his bounds with a woman, he is stealing something precious from her.
Yes.
You know, that is theft.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the only way that woman can have that precious whatever back is through the redemptive power of God.
I'm telling you, I have no other testimony. I really don't. I don't have anything else to tell people. The only reason why I am who I am today is because Jesus came in and was like, please let me restore that. Because it, you know, and so it's just, it's nice to like learn how to navigate. I think it's really good for men and women to hear. I know you and I are Christians, but we also know that people are going to listen to this and be like, okay, but everything you said sounds fine, but like, we're not Christians. That doesn't take away the importance of respecting yourself first is the only way you're going to know how to respect other people. If you want to keep playing the game of getting what you want and being selfish, go ahead, live your childish life. I don't know how to help you, but like if you really want to have meaningful relationships, things that are lasting, things that sustaining, things that will continue to pour into your life, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what's wrong with me and what do I need to fix? And we need to get that situated. For us, the fixing comes from the Lord. Not everyone wants to hear that, but that's what we know to be true.
But your point to non-Christians is also incredibly important.
They still have to look at themselves.
Because if you don't value yourself, no one else will.
Nope.
That is the importance of integrity and confidence.
Yep.
Have you ever seen that video about the African guys that go hunting and they steal the meat from the lions? Have you ever seen that video?
No.
You have to see that. You go on YouTube and search like hunters stealing meat from lions or whatever, and it'll come up. So these older hunters in Africa were having trouble hunting anymore because they were getting older and the gazelles were always the same age. So one of them came up with a plan to let the lions hunt and then steal the meat from the lions. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And so what they did, and it's incredible to watch. What they did was the lions kill something, they find the lions, and they just walk up to them and take it from them. Just walk up. And the lions are so confused. Yeah, look at that look on your face. The lions are so confused that they think, man, I'm the king of the jungle. This guy must be way taller. He's just coming. He's just walking towards me. And that's, of course, the first thing that you think of is, to walk around with confidence. But in order to walk around with confidence, true confidence, is because you have value. And you value yourself.
Yes.
And you know what you are.
Yes.
And that is recognizable. I told you that guys always know, hey, this will work on that one, that will. Well, they're never going to take one of those girls home to meet their mom.
No.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because a girl that can be fooled by your tricks is not worth keeping. It's just, she's part of the game, as you were saying.
Yeah.
So the ones that you are really looking for to take seriously, the good guys that are saying, finally saying to themselves, okay, I have to start looking for what's going to be the rest of my life, the investment for the rest of my life. Okay? They're not looking for girls that are playing games.
Right.
They're not. Right. They're looking for women that have value. And if those women can't value themselves, listen, this whole 50 Shades of Grey stuff where, I see something in you that nobody else sees. No, that's nonsense. Okay? Everybody sees it. Everybody knows you're a turd. Okay? I'm sorry. That's the way it is. And until you start fixing certain things in your life and start valuing yourself, nobody else is going to value you either.
Yeah.
There's no billionaire that is looking for a semi-attractive broken girl to make his queen for forever. That's not going to happen. That's a fantasy, and that's why they sell 1 million books. Okay? We're talking real life. Take care of your business. Make yourself the best person that you can. This is for men and women. Mm-hmm. Make yourself the best person that you can be, because the person that you're looking for is doing the same, and they're not going to settle for any less.
Yeah. Yep. Man. That hits home on all levels. It's just, it's nice to be reminded, though, that having a certain standard for yourself really isn't crazy, because I know I'm not the only person out there who is a 30-year-old virgin, and people think it's like the weirdest thing in the world to be a virgin at this age, and what does that mean? Something's wrong with you, and nothing is wrong with you.
There's nothing wrong with Candace.
Like, I'm sorry.
There ain't nothing wrong with Candace.
I'm still working on myself. I'm not gonna say nothing's wrong, but there was a conversation that was being had in a Facebook group that I'm a part of, and this question comes up all the time. It's a singles page, and I feel like this question comes up maybe once a week, and I don't know why we keep talking about it, but people keep asking, would you date someone who was saving themselves for marriage, and why or why not? And there are so many people that say like, oh, I tried that before, it didn't work, so now I'm just gonna get what I like. Or those of you who are saving, like I said earlier, good luck being single for the rest of your life. Or when you tell them, no, this is just the value I know that's on me, and I would like to keep the value where it is, they laugh at you as if it's almost as if they think in ridiculing you, it'll change where you set the bar. Like, let's see if they're just saying that, or if they're gonna give in if I hit them up in the DMs. Are they for real? For real? Let me tell you, please stand your ground. If you are a virgin, if you are trying to be celibate, if you are trying to just be committed to one person, like whether or not you want to take sex and stuff out, that's your personal business. But if you're just trying to learn how to be committed, and your boys or your girls are telling you like, no, like go ahead, multi-date, be with whoever, sleep with whoever, do it. If you have a standard for yourself, that's you. Everyone else can talk about whatever they want to about you, but you set your own bar and stick with it based on the value you want placed on yourself. No one else has to dictate that for you. If you want to put the bar somewhere else and someone else has something to say about it, well, they're not you, so they don't have to deal with it. That's fine.
Well, I can speak to that from the other side. If I had gotten together with Jessica, the Jessica that we talked about a little bit, part of my bragging that I would have undoubtedly done with my boys afterwards would have been, yeah, she talked about Jesus till she met Caesar.
See?
And that's just part of the game. All these people trying to bring you down or tell you, hey, they're trying to get with you.
Yep.
And they're trying to see, hey, well, I'll take a shot.
I'm telling you.
Let's be serious.
Yeah.
I can, for sure. And I would have said, look, there she goes, a little Christian girl. There she goes, until she was a little Christian girl until she met Caesar.
Yep.
And that would have been part of the whole boasting thing afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, for me, it took one person. One. So in college, when you go to a Christian college, people want to get you married. Like, they talk about it all the time. Anyone who's gone to a Christian college, you already know, like, the second you walk on campus, they're like, go and find your husband. Go and find your wife. I'm like, I'm trying to find where my class is. I don't know. That's just me. I'm trying to make sure I don't get lost every time I go to my dorm, to make sure I don't walk into the wrong room. Like that. But they want to get you married. And so this added pressure to get married that I never had thought of, imagined prior to that, it all of a sudden became this unnatural priority for me, and I didn't know why. And I was being bombarded by the idea that if I were to leave this place without a husband, I messed up my college experience, which sounds kooky to people who've only gone to public schools or non-Christian private schools. It's a thing, and it's very frustrating to put that pressure on people, because I've seen it. It's horrible. People need to stop doing that. But I already had so many things that had happened that were affecting my self-worth by the time I was a freshman in college, that it took one boy, it was a boy, okay? One boy who knew that, yes, I loved the Lord, but he knew how to sway me in such a way that my brokenness worked in his favor.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, bam, this is it. Woo! He swooped in. He did all of the things that I thought I wanted from someone. But let me tell you about how God works in my life. I have a great, family. And because of how, especially my older brother, Kevin, and people that know me know that I have a very special relationship with my older brother, Kevin. And the type of man Kevin has always been. Like, I don't know what seed the Lord planted in this person, but he created Kevin to be so different compared to other guys out there that I keep telling people my husband has some deep competition, because I'm just blown away by who Kevin is as a person. And so I used to think, I did not just follow my heart. My heart wanted to be all in, but I also took that time to be like, would my brother do that? I would think, and I'd process. I'd even call mom and be like, Mom, would dad have ever done this? Or would he have ever brought this up? Would he have ever requested this of you? And I would just ask questions, because I did not want my heart to lead me down a crazy path. Crazy paths were brought upon me because of that relationship. And I walked out of that relationship. It was only 4 months, but at the end of that relationship, I told my mom, I feel like a walking corpse. I don't have a soul anymore. Like, just gone. I don't know how to function as a human being anymore because of that one. But it took that one for mom to be like, first off, we're not allowing that. He can go do whatever he wants. But you are a child of God. So we're about to fix this situation real quick. Don't let anyone steal your spirit, right? That was when I learned about God and how he sees me despite anything that has happened to me, right? And the restoration I got in the year after, and the newfound knowledge, because it had to start, it had to be in my head first. I wasn't feeling it. I had to see it, and then it hit my heart. But once he kept revealing it to me over and over and over, how valuable he sees me, when I came back and homeboy tried to hit me up again, even though he had a girlfriend. He did not know who he was playing with because I was a missionary that whole year. So the Lord really poured into me, and I came back and I was like, first off, why are you hitting me up trying to say, I just think we didn't really settle things, so we should talk it out. Like, we should have a conversation on the 3rd floor of the science building at like 10 o'clock at night. And I'm over here like, no one is in the science building on the 3rd floor at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not stupid. Hello? Absolutely not. Sent all the emails to his girlfriend and was like, well, I just want you to know this is what your boyfriend is doing, and I'm trying to help you out, because if you accept this, girl, I'll pray for you, but I don't think this is acceptable. Look, at that point, I had so much value, he ran away. He didn't bother me. And that's the thing. When we set the bar, guys they'll flee. They'll figure it out. If you set the bar, keep it there. Don't let anyone change your value. They don't deserve that power over you. No, it's not a thing. So I love that you said that, Caesar, that it's a responsibility on both sides. It's a responsibility for women to set a standard for themselves and keep it there. I don't care what music tells you. I don't care what Hollywood tells you. I don't care what your mama tells you. I don't care what your bestie tells you. This is the bar that you set for yourself, and you hold it high, period. Guys, you have to also have a standard for yourself, because if you want a good woman to stay with you and she doesn't want to take, whatever crap you bring her, you also set the standard for who you want to be for someone else and who you want them to be for you. You don't have to play the game everyone else is playing. They're not that cool anyway. They're probably going to catch a disease. So, come on.
I have the counterpoint again to what you just said.
Go ahead.
Because I've been that guy. I've been that guy that you're talking about that was trying to hit you up.
Yeah,
and here's the thing. It isn't until we're quick studies when it comes to damaging things, but it's hard for us to learn how to fix how to fix ourselves.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I lost something that was a woman that was valuable to me, because I was not up to par, because I was making bad decisions, because I was being a jerk. I was the turd, okay? To be completely honest. It wasn't until I lost that I said to myself, okay, I have to change.
Yeah.
And the problem is that woman had to be willing to lose me in order for me to learn that lesson.
Yep.
Okay? Unfortunately, the next person in your situation, the next person that this guy runs into will have it better than you did because of what you taught him.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do anything about that.
Yep.
It's not your job to fix people.
No.
Okay? That's not your job.
Mm-mm.
So I had a relationship where I said, well, you know what? That could have been something and I messed it up and I have to change. Yeah. But it was because she decided not to lower her standard.
Yeah.
Because that was the only way that I felt that I wasn't good enough. And here's the thing, it wasn't that I wasn't good enough because there was something intrinsic in me that didn't have value. It was that I wasn't good enough because I wasn't making the right choices. Right. I was treating this situation like it wasn't valuable when it should have been.
Yeah.
You know, and it was finally after that, well, hey, you know what? I have to make amends here. I have to take things more seriously. I have to make the right decisions. That's when things started going better for me.
Yeah.
All right. If you keep your side of the deal, God will keep his side of it.
Yes.
He has promised you something.
Yes.
He will come through.
Yes.
And like I said, listen, my wife, unfortunately, got me and I was broken, but God redeemed me as well and turned me into something useful. And I can have this conversation with you and tell you all the bad parts of it. You know, I can do that. And I've never been happier. And my wife, I hope, you know, she's not here. She, like I said, she went out with the boys. But I like to think that she's happy too. I mean, she stuck around for 17 years, and I was redeemed. I was broken. I was making bad choices.
Yeah. And
it was through the work of a godly woman that said, I'm not going to put up with that.
Yep.
You know, and God's working on my heart. And this is what I mean by the separation. We started with this when we were talking about the worst advice I ever given. Your professional life, through all this time, well, most of this time, okay, I started working for the church when I was 20, I just turned 25. And through a lot of this time, my professional life was going great. Right?
Yeah.
In ministry.
Yeah.
But I had all these personal issues going on that I didn't know how to handle.
Yeah.
And God has brought it all together where everything is on the same level. And you know, it took years for that to happen, but God redeemed me into something that was worthy for his service. Yeah. And I had nothing to do with it. That was God's choice after I decided to let him into my life.
Yeah.
It's miraculous. It's beautiful. You don't have anything to do with it. All you do is take that first paso. Yeah. You take that first step, you decide, and God does the rest.
Yeah. Man, thank you so much for having both conversations with us and sharing personal, positive first paso and a second, not so positive, but learning a lot from it story. And I know there's a lot of heavy stuff in this episode, but I hope that whoever is listening to this, that it really gives you something to think about, and it gives you time to reassess yourself and where you are with your life decisions, with how you think, not just how you feel, but how you actually process the world around you. And if things don't look like there's better, like this is just what I've always seen, this is what everyone else is doing, be inventive and say there has to be better. And if I have to go out there and invent better, I'll fight for it. You know, fight for better. You deserve better. You deserve to be better. You deserve to receive better. So
I think that's what the beautiful thing about this if there is anything beautiful about a pandemic, is
Mm-hmm.
the world having to come to terms with the fact that culture isn't everything.
Yeah.
We had last month we had 1 week where all culture went away. There was no sports, there was no concerts, there was all filming of all movies stopped. Everything stopped.
Yeah.
And so now we're left with the bare bones,
Yep.
of what life really is.
Yep.
There's no distractions, there's nothing else, and we have to decide, okay, well, what's important or not. You can go in your life from distraction to distraction and never really truly be happy, or you can make some choices.
Yeah. Yeah. Just taking the time to really, we've had it's really just a unexpected slowdown, a pause. So we might as well take it for what it is and really cultivate the time with reassessments and, I don't know, just figuring out how to be better and do better, and if we realize that where we've set our bar should not be where it is. Some people drop their bar on the floor and they've never picked it up. Well, we got to get it off the ground. Like, we raise it up above your head somewhere, because you deserve better. You deserve to give better to other people, and when we come out of quarantine, the bar should be at least off the ground. Okay, raise it just a little higher, just off the ground. Start there.
You have value. You are created in the image of God.
Yes.
You have value. Just simply for existing, you're a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yes. Yes. Just for having air in your lungs, having life, being able to open your eyes today, even to sit here and listen. You have the ability to learn, because I had to learn. It's not always intuitive, but I had to learn what my actual price was. And the price tag on me is priceless. And guess what? It's on you too. So if you have to sit there in your discomfort with yourself and your actions and the actions that have been placed upon you that you didn't invite, and figure out this path to understanding your value, sit there. You got to sit there. You have to really process and think about who do I actually want to be? What do I actually want to experience in life? And is what's been happening or what I've been doing even worth or helpful in getting to being the better person that I want to be? And if it's not, well, we're just going to have to chuck that somewhere and we're going to leave it somewhere else. But that in all of those things, you're raising the bar for yourself. And I know we both just hope that you guys have that opportunity to raise the bar and surrender yourself to your reality. And that's okay, because the surrender will be, you can drop the surrender on the floor and pick the bar up and raise that one above your head. That's the goal. So thank you again so much for sharing your story, man. It really is nice to hear that from a pastor who can just be real and raw and honest and transparent about mistakes and lessons, and not feel like pastors are just, stuffy people who look down on you because you're not as righteous as they are. Like, I mean,
no, I don't have that luxury anymore. I know who I am. So
cool. So, how can people find you on social media if they want to reach out to you, talk to you, whatever? What would be the best way to contact you?
Sadly, I'm an old man, and my only social media. I mean, I have Instagram, but I couldn't even tell you what it is.
I was about to say, I was like, you have Instagram? Because I did not know that.
I do. I'm never on it. But Facebook is where I dwell, So it's Cesar Gonzalez on Facebook, and there's a lot of us, so you're going to have to scroll through. But I'm the guy in Cambridge, Maryland. All right, I'm the guy in Cambridge, Maryland.
Pretty sure he's the only Cesar Gonzalez in Cambridge,
Maryland. I'm pretty sure I am the only Cesar Gonzalez in Cambridge, Maryland.
Yeah. Cool. So, thank you guys for listening today. And if there are any topics you want covered in the future, or any questions, any how-to podcasts that you would want to be addressed. If you want to learn how to do something, or if you just want advice on a situation, please send me a message on Twitter at First Basso, or just tweet me there and share your advice or the topics that you would want me to talk about, as well as let me know if you have been in situations like Caesar has, where you feel like you're at a crossroads somewhere and life is going downhill and trying to figure out what your next best step would be. Or if you're one of those people that have been in relationships that have only led to destructive outcomes, let me know your story. You can send me in the DMs. You can tweet advice or your story, and I'll read some of those in a future episode, so other people can learn from you guys and your experiences as well, and we can continue helping each other take our first bassos and becoming better versions of who we've always been created to be. Everyone's created to do something amazing and to be amazing people. And I think we can all edify each other in getting to that place in our lives. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening, and take care. Caesar, you take care as well. Take care of those boys and Grace, and hopefully we see each other soon after the quarantine. The quarantine.
Yep. Hopefully soon.
Yes.
At a wedding.
Jesus, you heard it, Lord, speaking into existence. All right. So I'll see you soon. Thanks.
All right, darling. Take care.